The signal appeared on the screens at Seoul Space Observatory on a quiet Tuesday morning. Dr. Sunwoo rubbed her tired eyes, not believing what she saw. After 20 years of searching the stars, they had found something. "Look at this pattern," she said, pointing to the screen. Her assistant Tae-hyun leaned closer. "It repeats too perfectly," he said. "Natural signals don't do that." Dr. Sunwoo nodded. "We need to tell someone." 3 days later, observatories around the world confirmed the signal. It came from a point near Jupiter, moving closer to Earth. Each day, world leaders gathered, military forces went on alert, and people looked up at the night sky wondering. 87 days after the first signal, the Lumari ships appeared. 7 massive vessels, each shaped like a perfect silver oval, positioned themselves above major cities. Seoul, New York, Cairo, Sydney, Rio, London, and Beijing all had the same view, a silent ship hanging in the sky. Commander Jiho stood with his soldiers as the first Lumari emerged from their ship in Seoul Olympic Stadium. The alien was tall and thin, with skin that seemed to glow from within. It walked on 2 legs but had 4 arms that moved with perfect grace. "I am Envoy," the Lumari said in perfect Korean. "We come in peace." News reports showed similar scenes, playing out in the other cities. The Lumari spoke every language without difficulty. They brought gifts, medical cures, clean energy devices, and technology that could pull water from air. Director Hana of the United Council welcomed them officially. "We hope this marks the beginning of friendship between our worlds," she said, during the ceremony. The Lumari nodded politely, but Dr. Sunwoo noticed how they watched the crowd. Their eyes, 3 on each face, moved constantly, recording everything. "They're studying us," she whispered to Commander Jiho during the 3rd meeting between human leaders and the aliens. Like scientists with lab animals, Jiho had noticed it too. "They smile, but I never see them laugh," he replied quietly. The Lumari set up research centers in each city. They invited scientists to share knowledge. They seemed open and helpful, but there were places humans couldn't go in their ships. One night, Dr. Sunwoo worked late at the Joint Research Lab. She heard a strange humming sound coming from a room the Lumari had marked as private. The door was slightly open. Inside, she saw 3 Lumari standing around a floating sphere that showed images of human history. Wars, battles, conflicts from ancient times to modern days. "Dangerous potential," one Lumari said. "Their darkness runs deep." "They create and destroy with equal passion," another added. "Unpredictable." Dr. Sunwoo backed away slowly, then ran to find Commander Jiho. She found him at his office reviewing security plans. "They're afraid of us," she said, describing what she'd seen. Jiho was quiet for a moment. "That makes them dangerous. Fearful beings make bad decisions." The next day, a Lumari probe was discovered deep in a government data center. When questioned, Envoy claimed it was a mistake. But that night, more Lumari ships arrived in orbit. Director Hana called an emergency meeting. "What are your true intentions here?" she asked Envoy directly. The Lumari's skin dimmed slightly. "We came seeking allies," Envoy said. "But we have concerns about humanity's nature." "What concerns?" asked Hana. "Your history is filled with violence. You fight wars. You hurt each other. These qualities exist in no other intelligent species we have encountered." The room went quiet. "Yet you also create beauty," Envoy continued. "You help strangers. You sacrifice for others. These contradictions confuse us." Dr. Sunwoo stood up. "That's what makes us human. We contain both light and darkness." Envoy's 3 eyes blinked in sequence. "Perhaps. Or perhaps the darkness threatens your future and any species that encounters you." As the meeting ended, Commander Jiho noticed new movements among the Lumari ships in orbit. They were taking up positions around Earth, forming what looked like a blockade. "We should prepare," he told Director Hana quietly. "I don't think they came just to make friends." That night, Dr. Sunwoo couldn't sleep. She stood at her window looking at the silver ship hanging over Seoul. The Lumari had brought amazing gifts, but now she wondered about the price. Would they accept humans as they were, with all their flaws and strengths? Or would they try to change what they feared? She had a feeling they would all find out soon. The Lumari called for a special meeting 1 week after the discovery of their probe. Earth's leaders gathered in the Seoul Conference Center, a glass building that reflected the silver ship hovering above. Director Hana sat at the center table with Dr. Sunwoo and Commander Jiho behind her. Envoy entered with 4 other Lumari. Their skin glowed brighter than usual, a sign Dr. Sunwoo had learned meant excitement or stress. "We have studied your species carefully," Envoy began, "and we have developed a solution to help humanity." The room grew quiet as Envoy placed a small silver device on the table. It opened like a flower, revealing a blue gel inside. "This is an enhancement," Envoy explained. "A simple procedure that will remove aggressive tendencies from the human mind. It has worked on 17 other species." Director Hana leaned forward. "You want to change human biology? Our very nature?" "To improve it," Envoy corrected. "Your violent impulses hold you back. Without them, you could join galactic society safely." Representative Minho stood up suddenly. He was young but respected for his direct approach. "You want to remove what makes us human?" His voice echoed in the large room. "Our passion, our drive, these come from the same place as our capacity to fight." The Lumari's skin pulsed with light. "We offer this as friends. The alternative is quarantine. Your species cannot join others until it is safe." After the Lumari left, the room exploded with angry voices. Half the world leaders refused to consider the offer. Others thought it might bring benefits. "They're afraid of us," Dr. Sunwoo said quietly to Commander Jiho. "But why? They have superior technology." "I'm going to find out," Jiho replied. That night, Jiho led a small team to the landing area where smaller Lumari shuttles were kept. Using security codes Dr. Sunwoo had observed, they entered one shuttle undetected. The interior was strange, curved walls that seemed alive, controls that responded to touch. Jiho found what looked like a data terminal and connected a device Dr. Sunwoo had prepared. Images filled the screen, planets with names Jiho couldn't pronounce, species of all shapes, and records of enhancements. "Look at this," whispered his teammate. Before and after brain scans of other species. They've done this many times. The images showed dozens of worlds where the Lumari had introduced their enhancements. In every case, the species became docile, productive, and completely under Lumari influence. Meanwhile, Dr. Sunwoo worked through the night studying Lumari biology from samples she had collected. By morning, she had discovered something important. The Lumari evolved on a world without predators, she explained to Director Hana. Their entire species developed without needing to fight or defend themselves. They don't understand conflict because they never experienced it, so they fear what they don't understand, Hana said. Exactly. And humans represent unpredictability to them. We can be both kind and cruel. They can't predict what we'll do. The next day, Commander Jiho shared his findings from the shuttle. Director Hana called an emergency meeting of Earth's Defense Council. The enhancements aren't help, she told them. They're control. Before they could develop a plan, there was trouble at the Joint Research Facility. A human researcher named Junho had refused a Lumari's request for DNA samples from children. The Lumari had attempted to take the samples anyway. When Junho blocked their path, the alien had used some kind of energy device that left Junho unconscious. News spread quickly. Protests formed outside Lumari facilities worldwide. The aliens retreated to their ships. More Lumari vessels arrived in orbit each day. Representative Minho suggested a bold plan. "Let me take their enhancement," he said. "With a few volunteers, we'll see exactly what it does." Director Hana didn't like it, but they needed information. 10 volunteers, including Minho, underwent the procedure under strict observation. 3 days later, Minho sat before the council. His eyes were different, flatter somehow, without their usual spark. He spoke in a calm, even voice. "The enhancements Are wonderful, he said, but his tone didn't match his words. All should accept them. The Lumari only want peace. Dr. Sunwoo ran tests and discovered horrifying results. The enhancement creates a direct connection to Lumari control signals, she reported. They can influence thoughts and emotions remotely. That evening, Envoy requested a meeting with all world leaders. His message was simple. You have one planetary day to accept our help or face isolation. As night fell, Commander Jiho watched Lumari ships form a perfect ring around Earth. They're afraid of us, he said to Dr. Sunwoo, and that makes this very dangerous. We need a plan, she replied, looking at the stars now blocked by alien vessels. Yes, Jiho agreed, and I think I know what they fear most. The Lumari blockade was complete by morning. 53 ships formed a perfect sphere around Earth. No communications could leave the planet. The small human colonies on Mars and Europa were cut off too. Dr. Sunwoo stood at the window of the emergency command center, watching military aircraft patrol Seoul's skies. The room behind her was filled with screens showing similar scenes from around the world. Our ships can't match their technology, Commander Jiho said, joining her at the window. A direct fight would be suicide. Director Hana called the room to order. The Lumari have sent their final message. They want our answer about the enhancements by sunset. And if we refuse? Asked a general. They say Earth will be quarantined forever. No space travel. No contact with other worlds. The room fell silent. Humanity had just begun its journey to the stars. The Mars colony needed regular supply ships. The research station on Europa was making discoveries about alien microbes. All of that would end. Dr. Sunwoo stepped forward. I've been studying everything. We know about the Lumari. They evolved without predators, without competition. Their entire society is built on order and predictability. She pulled up images on the main screen. Look at their ships, perfect formations, their cities, every building precisely spaced. Even their movements follow patterns. They fear what they cannot predict. Commander Jiho nodded slowly. So we give them chaos. The plan came together quickly. While Earth's leaders pretended to debate the Lumari offer, buying time, Commander Jiho left secretly for Europa. The small, ice-covered moon of Jupiter housed 300 scientists and miners in an underground base. The Lumari aren't watching us as closely here, said Station Chief Do-hyun when Jiho arrived. They think we're just a research outpost. We need to use that advantage, Jiho replied, and we need to move quickly. Back on Earth, Dr. Sunwoo was working with the volunteers who had received Lumari enhancements. Representative Minho and the E. Others sat quietly, their eyes vacant. The connection is like a radio signal, she explained to Director Hana. If we can disrupt it, maybe we can free them. She had created a device that blocked the Lumari frequency. When she activated it near Minho, his eyes cleared for a moment. They're in my head, he whispered urgently before the connection reasserted itself. They want to control all of us. They've done this before. To many worlds. With this confirmation of the Lumari's true intentions, Earth's leaders made their decision. They would refuse the enhancements. Director Hana delivered the answer personally to Envoy. Humanity chooses to remain as we are, she said firmly. Envoy's skin dimmed to a dull glow. Then you choose isolation. Your species is too unpredictable, too dangerous to join galactic society. Or perhaps we just don't fit into your perfect order, Hana replied. As she left, sensors detected the Lumari ships powering up weapon systems. They weren't just planning a blockade, they were preparing for war. On Europa, Commander Jiho gathered the colonists. We have an advantage they don't expect, he told them. They think in straight lines. We need to think in circles and zigzags. The Sci-Fi colonists modified their mining ships, small, fast vessels designed to navigate through ice. Each was equipped differently. No pattern, no predictability. On Earth, military forces prepared too, but not in the way the Lumari expected. Instead of gathering in large defensive formations, they scattered into thousands of small units. Dr. Sunwoo's research had revealed another Lumari weakness. Their three eyes couldn't process rapid, random movements as well as human eyes could. The first move came from Europa. 20 mining ships burst from beneath the moon's icy surface, each flying in an erratic pattern. The Lumari ships there tried to track them but couldn't predict their movements. "It's working," Jiho told Earth over a hidden communication channel. "They can't lock weapons on random flight paths." The Europa team succeeded in disrupting the Lumari blockade around the moon. 3 ships slipped through the gap, carrying Dr. Sunwoo's signal-disrupting technology toward Earth. When the Lumari realized what was happening, they moved to close the gap. But that created another opening near Mars, which the colonists there immediately exploited. On Earth, Director Hana watched the space battle unfold on their screens. "We can't win with force," she said, "but maybe we can win with unpredictability." Dr. Sunwoo nodded. "The real fight isn't for space or resources," she said quietly. "It's for who gets to define what humanity becomes." As night fell, the stakes became clear. The Lumari Council had sent a new message. Surrender now, or they would make an example of Earth that the galaxy would never forget. The Lumari attack began at dawn. Their ships fired warning shots that boiled away parts of the Pacific Ocean, creating massive clouds of steam. It was a display of power, a final warning. Director Hana stood in the command center, her face lit by emergency lights. "They want us to panic," she said, "to surrender out of fear." But Earth did not respond. As expected, instead of launching a desperate counterattack, Earth's forces seemed to vanish. Satellites went dark. Military bases appeared empty. The Lumari scanners could not locate large human gatherings anywhere. Envoy sent confused messages from the main ship. "Where have your forces gone? What are you planning?" Director Hana sent no reply. The silence was part of the strategy. Dr. Sunwoo worked in an underground lab, completing her most important project. For days she had studied samples of Lumari biology, learning how their communication systems worked. Now she had created something that could disrupt those systems. "It's not a weapon exactly," she explained to her team. "It's more like static on a radio. Their minds are constantly connected. This will interrupt that connection." In space, Commander Jiho led the first real attack. The mining ships from Europa approached the Lumari fleet from below, coming up from Earth's shadow. They moved in, no formation, each following a random path programmed by its pilot. The Lumari ships tried to track them but couldn't predict where they would go next. Some mining ships released clouds of metallic dust that confused Lumari sensors. Others projected false images that made one ship look like 3. "They're struggling," Jiho told his pilots. "They can't handle chaos." On Earth, small teams of soldiers emerged from hiding places near Lumari landing sites. They didn't attack directly. Instead, they created distractions, setting off alarms. In empty buildings, broadcasting conflicting radio signals, releasing drones that flew in random patterns. The Lumari response became increasingly disorganized. Their perfect formations broke apart as ships moved to address threats that weren't there. "It's time," Director Hana told Dr. Sunwoo. "Launch your virus." The delivery system was simple but clever. Earth's remaining satellites released thousands of tiny drones, each carrying Dr. Sunwoo's creation. The drones attached themselves to Lumari ships like metal dust. Once there, they began broadcasting the disruption signal. Inside the Lumari ships, confusion spread. Their mental connection, the telepathic link that allowed them to coordinate perfectly, began to break down. Some ships stopped moving. Others fired at empty space. Commander Jiho saw the moment of opportunity. "Now," he ordered. His team had prepared for the most dangerous mission of all. 12 volunteers in specially designed suits approached the Lumari flagship, the massive silver oval that controlled the others. Their ship was small, painted with light-absorbing material that made it nearly invisible against Earth's night side. They reached the flagship undetected and found an entry point where a small maintenance door opened periodically. 4 of Jiho's team were lost when Lumari guards discovered them in the crystalline corridors of the ship. 2 more fell protecting their retreat. but Jiho and 5 others reached the central communication hub. "Plant the devices," Jiho ordered, "then get back to the ship." They placed Dr. Sunwoo's disruptors at key points throughout the hub. As they worked, Jiho copied data from the Lumari systems, information about their homeworld, their technology, and their past encounters with other species. The team was discovered before they could leave. In the firefight that followed, 3 more humans fell. Only Jiho and 1 other soldier remained. Their escape route was cut off. "Go," Jiho told his companion. "Get the data back to Earth. I'll hold them here." As the last soldier escaped, Jiho activated all the disruptors at once. The effect was immediate. The Lumari in the hub fell to their knees, their skin flickering wildly as their mental connection was severed completely. Across Earth's orbit, Lumari ships began to drift. Without their perfect coordination, their blockade fell apart. Some retreated beyond the moon. Others simply shut down weapons and communication systems. On Earth, humans emerged from hiding to see the Lumari ships pulling away. In the command center, cheers broke out as reports came in from around the world, but Director Hana didn't celebrate. She stared at the main screen showing the Lumari fleet regrouping at a safe distance. "They're not done," she said quietly. "They're reconsidering their approach." Dr. Sunwoo joined her, data tablet in hand. "I've translated some of their communications," she said. "Their council is debating what to do next. Some want to leave Earth alone. Others," she paused, her face grave. "Others are suggesting more permanent solutions, complete elimination of humanity as a threat." Director Hana looked up at the retreating ships. "We've shown them our darkness," she said, "our capacity to fight and survive. Now we need to show them something else." "What?" asked Dr. Sunwoo. "That our darkness isn't all we are." Everyone thought Commander Jiho had died aboard the Lumari flagship. His team had returned with the stolen data, but reported he had stayed behind to ensure their escape. Director Hana had already prepared words for his memorial service. But Jiho was not dead. When the disruption field activated, he had hidden inside a maintenance tunnel as the confused Lumari searched for him. Now he moved carefully through the massive ship, learning its secrets. The Lumari were in disarray. Without their mental connection, they struggled to communicate. Jiho watched them use simple hand signals and written notes. They seemed lost without their perfect unity. He found his way to a chamber where important Lumari gathered. They sat in a circle, touching special crystals that allowed limited communication. Jiho couldn't understand their language, but he could see images projected in the center of their circle. Pictures of Earth, of humans, and of weapons. On Earth, Dr. Sunwoo made a breakthrough. Using the data Jiho's team had brought back, she finally understood the Lumari completely. They evolved on a world with no predators, no natural disasters, she explained to Director Hana. Their entire evolution was peaceful. They developed technology not to fight or defend, but simply to explore and understand. So when they found other species, they couldn't comprehend conflict, Dr. Sunwoo finished. When they encountered species that fought or competed, they saw it as a disease to be cured. Their enhancements were their solution. "And humanity?" asked Hana. "We terrify them. We can be kind and cruel in the same moment. We create beauty and destruction. They can't predict us, and what they can't predict, they fear." The Lumari fleet had regrouped and was moving back toward Earth. Long-range sensors showed their weapons charging. This would not be a warning shot. "They've made their decision," Director Hana said grimly. "They see us as too dangerous to exist." But Dr. Sunwoo had been working on a plan. "We need to show them who we really are, not just our capacity for darkness, but how that darkness connects to our light." On the Lumari flagship, Commander Jiho had been discovered. He ran through crystalline corridors as aliens chased him. He wasn't trying to escape. He was heading toward the ship's main communication center. The data he had studied showed him exactly where it was and how it worked. When he reached it, he quickly connected a device Dr. Sunwoo had given each team. Member, a small translator that could broadcast on Lumari frequencies, As the aliens surrounded him, weapons ready, he activated it. "I could destroy this ship," he said calmly. "I've learned enough about your systems to overload your engines, but I choose not to." The Lumari froze, confused by his words. On Earth, Dr. Sunwoo activated a powerful transmission aimed at the Lumari fleet. It contained no threats, no military information. Instead, it showed humanity's full story, not just wars and conflict, but what came after. How humans rebuilt cities after disasters, how enemies became friends, how darkness led to light. "We want you to understand us," Director Hana's voice explained over the transmission. "Yes, we fight. Yes, we can be destructive. But that same fire drives us to create, to heal, to protect." The transmission included something special, a modified version of Dr. Sunwoo's disruption field that actually helped Lumari communicate more clearly, repairing the damage done earlier. On the flagship, Commander Jiho watched the aliens' reaction. Their skin changed colors as they processed the images from Earth. They saw human history in full, the darkness and the light together. "Your species fears chaos," Jiho told them. "We were born in it. It shaped us, but it did not consume us." The Lumari weapons powered down. Their ships stopped advancing. After a long silence, Envoy's voice came through all communication channels. "We misunderstood," he said simply. "We saw only danger where there was also strength." 3 days later, Commander Jiho returned to Earth aboard a Lumari shuttle. The aliens had treated his injuries and listened to his stories about humanity. In return, he had learned about their peaceful evolution and their fear of unpredictability. "They're not evil," he told Director Hana and Dr. Sunwoo as they walked under the stars. "Just different. They never needed to fight to survive, so they never understood why anyone would." "And now?" Dr. Sunwoo asked. "Now they're curious. They want to understand how we balance darkness and light." The next day, Envoy arrived with a new proposal. Not enhancement, but exchange. Lumari would live among humans and humans among Lumari, each learning from the other. "We feared what we did not understand," Envoy admitted. "Your darkness seemed only destructive. Now we see it is also creative." Director Hana smiled. "Sometimes, we need shadows to appreciate light." As the sun rose on a new day, Earth took its first real steps into the galactic community, not as a species that had erased its darkness, but as one that had learned to understand it.